begins. All right. So now, welcome back to what? Math 102, Analytic, Geometry, and Calculus. Now, we are continuing with what? Lesson 18, right? Which is division of line segments in a given ratio. So this time around, we are proceeding to what? Finding an unknown what? End point. How to find the unknown end point. Let's see, we have division of line segments either what? Internally, or externally. So we have this. So either internally or what? Externally. So external division, internal division, let's say we have point A and point B. So we have a line segment joining this point together. Then this point P, X, Y is dividing this line segment internally in a given ratio. Let's say I have lambda equals, let's say 3, then mu equals, let's say 1. So we have this. So this point P, X, Y is dividing this line segment in this ratio. Lambda equals 3, then mu equals what? 1. Then you can say that our formula, that's point P, X, Y, should be equal to lambda x2 plus mu x1 divided by what? Lambda plus mu, right? So this is the x coordinate. Then we can get what? Lambda y2 plus mu y1 divided by lambda plus mu. So we have our x coordinates and our y coordinates. Don't forget that points are always expressed in the form x, y, right? So if you have point P, x, y, which means we get what? Lambda x2 plus what? Mu x1 divided by what? Lambda plus mu. Then we get lambda y2 plus mu y1 divided by what? Lambda plus what? Mu. Where lambda and mu are the what? The ratios, or the given ratios. So now I can say that my x coordinate is what I've said earlier on. Lambda x2 plus mu x1 divided by what? Lambda plus what? Mu. Then we can say that our y coordinate is also equal to lambda y2 plus mu y1 divided by what? Lambda plus mu. So this is what we are saying. So now, what we'll be doing is finding an unknown endpoint. So they'll give you one point, then we'll not give you the other point. But they can give you the internal division. The internal division or the external division. So an unknown endpoint. I can give you point A, then I'll not give you point B, but I'll give you the internal division or the external division. So this is the formula for calculating the internal division. If you've forgotten how to prove the internal division, kindly go and watch, I think, lesson 16, 15, thereabout. Alright, so this one is internal division. Right, internal division. Now let's see the external division. The external division. So dividing a line segment externally. So I have a line segment joining these 2 points, point A, B, so that we can get, let's see, our, alright, let's clean it and let's see how best we can tackle this. Alright, let's continue. So I said we have a line, right? So, which means this is line segment what? AP, right? And this point B is dividing them what? Externally, right? It's dividing them externally. So I can get my AB to be what? That's a ratio lambda equals let's say 3. Then this one will be mu equals let's say 1. Right. So I have this line segment, right? This line segment and this line segment. So line segment AP, you have the length of AP, then you have the length of what? AB. So this line, this point B is dividing this line segment with AP in the ratio what? Lambda equals 3, then what? Mu equals what? 1. So this one is external what? Division. So that means the ratios one will be what? Negative, right? So now let's see our formulas for that. So let's see our point P. Our point P, which is xy, should be equal to lambda x2 minus mu x1. So we negate one of them. That's we negate what? The smaller ratio. So let's say mu is the what? Smaller ratio. Divided by lambda minus what? Mu. Then we have lambda y2 minus mu y1 all divided by lambda minus mu. So we have this. So it means that this is my x coordinate, then my y coordinate. So I get my x to be equal to lambda x2 minus mu x1 divided by lambda minus mu. Then I get my y coordinate to be what? Lambda y2 minus mu y1 divided by lambda minus mu. So this is what is going on here. All right, so we proceed from here, then we build up. How best can we solve questions relating to what? Finding an unknown and point. All right, so now let's start with examples. All right, so let's see this question. The point P, negative 1, 8, divides the line segment AB internally such that the length of AP is to the length of PB equals 3 is to 1. If the coordinates of A is 5, negative 1, find the coordinates of B. All right, so we have the length. The point P, negative 1, A divides the line segment AB internally. So let's see solution. So I can sketch a rough diagram here. So they said we have point A, then point B. So point A is giving us what? 5, negative 1. Right. Then we don't know point B, right? He didn't give us point B. But they gave us what? The internal division, which is point P, negative 1, 8. So let's see somewhere here, point P, negative 1, 8. Right. And they are saying that it divides it what? Internal. So we can get our ratio being as that, which is our lambda equals 3, then our mu equals 1. Right. So how best can we find for the coordinates of what? B. So now let's take note. So P is x, y, and it divides that what? Internally. So we get lambda x2 plus mu x1 divided by lambda plus mu. Then we get again lambda y2 plus mu y1 divided by lambda plus mu. So we have this. We have this. How best can we solve that? So now let's see. This is the internal division. And I told you that this is point x, then this is point y. And point x is the same thing as this point y. Is the same thing as that. Don't forget our lesson 3, thereof. Our lesson 3 said we got midpoint, right? Midpoint. So that one you can go and search for that midpoint. How do we solve questions on midpoint of a line segment, right? We did the same thing, or we use the same approach to solve that. So my point x is the same thing as that. So I get x being equal to lambda x2 plus mu x1 divided by lambda plus mu, right? So now I know that my point x is what? Negative what? 1. Which must be equal to, this one is my x1, y1, right? Then my point b what? x2, y2. Don't forget x2, y2, right? So now let's see how best we can solve this question. So our lambda is 3. We don't know our x2, so our x2 is there. Plus our mu is 1. Then what is our x1? Our x1 is 5. Divided by lambda is 3 plus mu is 1. So I get negative 1 equals 3 times x2, you get 3x2 plus 1 times 5, you get 5, divided by what? 4. Right. So how best can we solve this? We multiply 3 by what? 4. That's the LCM. So I get 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4, goes 4 times the whole of this expression. We still get 3x2 plus 5. Right. So I can continue from here. I get my negative 4 equals 3x2 plus 5. We multiply times negative 4 minus 5 equals 3x2. Right. So how best can we continue and solve this question? Alright, so let's see. So negative 4 plus negative 5. So this one, we are adding negative 4 plus negative 5. We get negative 9, which is equal to 3x2. So what do? We divide both sides by the coefficient of x2, which is 3. So I get negative 9 divided by 3 plus 3x2 divided by 3. Then I get my x2 being equal to negative 3. So I have this, which is my x2, which equals negative 3. Then how best can we solve for our y2? So don't forget, y is the same thing as what? Lambda y2. So I get my y is the same thing as lambda y2 plus mu y1 divided by lambda plus mu. What is y? Our y is 8. So I get my 8 equals my lambda is 3 times I don't know my y2 plus my mu is 1 times my y1, which is what? Negative 1. So I get my negative 1 here divided by 3 plus 1, which is lambda, then mu, we add them. So I get 8 equals 3y2. 1 times negative 1, we obtain negative 1 divided by 4. How best can we solve this? We multiply 2 by 4. That's the LCM. 4, 8, we obtain 32 equals 3y2 minus 1. Right. So we group like them to get 32 plus 1 equals 3y2. 32 plus 1, we obtain 33 equals 3y2. Right. We divide both sides by the coefficient of y2, which is 3. So I get 33 divided by 3 equals 3y2 divided by 3. So I get my y2 equals 3 goes into 33, which is what? 11. So I get 11. So 311 points, 33. So we can say that, therefore, the coordinates of B is our x2 is -3, then our y2 is 11. So, which is very simple and very, very trivial as well. So let's move on to our next example. All right, so let's see this question. A and B are 2 points. AB is produced towards C, such that the length of AC is to the length of BC equals 7:2. Find the coordinate of A, given that the coordinate of B and C are 18, 12, and 24, 16, respectively. So now let's see. Let's see whether is it internally or externally. You see, this time around, they didn't tell you the division, whether it is internally or externally. But you need to know, or you have to know. So now let's see. Point A and B. So I have point A and point B. AB is produced to C. So let's see. AB is produced to this C here, such that the length of AC, all right, the length of AC, that's the ratio given, which is lambda equals what? 7. Then BC, which is mu, equals 2. All right, so now with this, I can say that what? It is external division, right? It is external division. That's point C is dividing the line segment AB externally, right? So find the coordinate of A. We said we should find for the coordinate of A. Let's see x1, y1, right? Then this one B is x2, y2, right? Then I have my point C, which is the division, x1. Right. So now let's see. External. And don't forget, external division, we negate the smaller ratio. So this time around, we negate what? Mu. We negate mu. We negate mu. That's external division. So I get my point C, which is xy, which must be equal to lambda x2 minus, I'm negating that, mu x1 divided by lambda minus mu. Then we have lambda y2 minus mu y1 divided by lambda minus mu. So I get my point x, which is equal to lambda x2 minus mu x1 divided by lambda minus mu. So now, our point x, so let's see, point A is what? 18, 12. So our point x is what? 18. 18 equals our lambda, which is what? 7. Then I have my x2, we do not know, minus my mu, which is 2. We negate that. Then our x1, sorry, let's see. Point C is this, right? So point C, which is 2416. Point C is 2416. So don't forget, this one is point B. Point B, which is what? Point B, which is x2, y2, right? Then point C, which is x, y, right? Don't forget that. Don't forget. So point C, xy, then point B, x2, y2. So point C, that's xy, then point A, x1, y1. So we are going to do forward. Point A. So let's see. Point C, which is x, which is 24 here. So I get my 24. Then lambda is 7, then my x2. X2 is 18, right? Our x2 is 18. Our x2 is 18 minus my u2, then our x1. Our x1 we do not what? No. Oh, sorry. Alright, so our lambda is given as 7 times our x2. Our x2 is what? 18 minus our mu. Our mu is given as 2. Then I don't know my x1. So this is what is going on. Right? Sorry for that. Then our lambda, which is 7 minus 2. Right? So don't forget our point C, xy, Point X, I told you that this is point X. Point Y, this one is external division. So point X is 24, which is C, point C, XY. Then point B, X2 what? Y2. So my X2 is what? 18, then my Y2 is what? 12, right? So my Y2 is 12. We can say that point X, 24, or lambda 7 times my X2, which is what? 18, right? Minus mu, my mu is 2. Then I don't know my X1, which is this X1 is for point A. That's point A is what we are going to find for here. So now, let's see. So I have 24, which must be equal to 24, which must be equal to 7 times 18, we obtain 126. 126. Let's proceed. 126 minus 2x1 divided by here we obtain 5. Right. So we multiply 2 by 5. So I get my 5 times 24, which we obtain 120 here. So I get my 120, which is equal to 126 minus 2x1. So we group items. So I get 120 minus 126 equals negative 2x1. So we can still proceed and see that 120 minus 126, we get negative 6 equals negative 2x1. What do? We have to divide both sides by what? The coefficient of x1, which is what? Negative 2. So I get negative 6 divided by negative 2 was negative 2x1 divided by negative 2. So I get my x1 equals what? This one cancels, right? 2 into itself 1, then into 6, we get 3. So 3 is a factor of both of them. That's a common factor, right? So we get x1 being equal to what? 3. So now let's see. For our y1, how do we get our y1? How do we get our y1? So I said our y should be equal to lambda y2 minus mu y1 divided by lambda minus mu. So our y, which is what? 16 equals lambda is 7 times our y2, which is 12, minus our mu, which is 2, times our y1, we do not divided by lambda, which is 7 minus mu, which is 2. So I get 16 equals 7, 12, we get 84 minus 2y1 all over 5, right? So 5 times 16, 5, 6, 30. Then we get 80 here equals 84 minus 2y1. Because I said we multiply through by the LCM 5, or you can do cross product here. So we group items, we get 80 minus 84 equals negative 2y1, right? So now 80 minus 84, we get negative what? 4 equals negative 2y1. How do we go about it? Divide both sides by what? Negative 2. That's the coefficient of y. So negative 2. So I get my y1 being equal to positive what? 2. So I can get my coordinates of A. Therefore, the coordinates of A is x1 is 3 and y1 is 2. Alright. So this is how best we can solve this question. Finding an unknown what? Endpoint. So kindly watch it and solve more questions on that. So 2 examples. It's very, very